She is a fellow of the West African Society for Communications and Administration, a Doctor of Arts in Leadership and Social Development from Yao Hills University, South Africa, and a Doctor of Humane Letters from HIPDEP University, USA. And she is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Finance and Management from King's College British American Institute, USA. She is the founder of Ideal Forum Initiatives, a non-profit making organization that aims at improving the quality of lives of the girl child, women, orphan, youth, and the less privileged. She's a psychologist and economist, a politician, social development strategist, and an advocate against child mutilation, and an advocate for women inclusion in leadership and governance. Interestingly, our guest today is a Niqabi. Join me in welcoming Dr. Amina Adebayo Shitu to today's show. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you're a woman in niqab, but have stopped at nothing, you know, to make an impact in society as a female leader. From your experience, what are the benefits of having women in leadership positions, especially for a country like Nigeria?
The benefits are enormous. You know, there's a saying that has been for ages that when you train a woman, you train a nation. When you empower a woman, you have empowered a nation. So it is important to have women in leadership. Women makes a lot of difference. Women are multipliers, and naturally they are imbibed with the qualities of ensuring that things are done the right way, and they are usually result-oriented in all spheres.
Okay. Your niqab, people will be interested in knowing what inspired you, or what experience inspired, or who inspired you to start wearing the niqab.
Anyways, it would interest you to know that I do not have a mentor when it comes to my niqab, but what inspired it actually was because my husband wanted it and nothing more.
Okay, so he wanted you to be niqabi, and
yes,
you just...
He probably is afraid of other men looking at his damn self, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, so what's been the experience, you know, since you decided to wear the niqab? How did your friends, your family, society generally take it? You know, the niqab is something that's been of in public discussions over years, not just in Nigeria, but, you know, outside the country. So how did your family take it?
Well, my family didn't take it anyhow. They took it the way I wanted it. You know, it became what I wanted. And I'm an adult, and since it's not anything that would harm me in any way, my parents didn't object. Of course, a few friends raised observations and issues. Oh, why you would be secluded, you will not have all the opportunities, you know, your potentials would be limited, the opportunities would be limited, and a whole lot of things that quite, not quite. You know, life is a challenge itself, and no matter how well dressed you are, or what type of dressing you decided to go by, challenges would come naturally.
Okay, having been in leadership position yourself, what do you think are some of the factors that hinder women from, you know, getting into specific leadership positions? Because we're in a world where they say it's a man's world, and women are given very little chance, very, very insignificant chances to being in that position.
I do not oppose to the fact that it's men's world, you know, but I oppose to the saying that women are being hindered. No, I oppose to that, and I'm a living witness. I don't want to agree that women are being hindered, because if you ask me, what are the hindrances? The opportunity that a man has is equal as the opportunity that a woman has. Let's take, for instance, there's a job opening somewhere, and a woman and a man applies for the job. Now we are going to go by the prerequisites that is needed to get the job. Is it the qualification? Is it the communication skills? Is it the use of MS Word or Excel or whatever it is? It will now depend on, does the woman have the same ability as the man? Does the woman have the required qualification to get the job? If the woman has the required qualification, then she has the opportunity to get it. I don't want to believe that women are being hindered. Like I said earlier, if you are qualified for the job, nothing stops you from getting the job. I don't know if you get my point. So it is important for women to be well equipped, be well educated. I was told some time ago that women are usually favored because whoever, especially when the employer is a man, the man gets benefits after the lady or the woman is being employed. And you know what that means? That maybe the man gets to date the lady and all sorts. But it's not the case now for a woman who is firm, who is resilient and has value to offer. It is your value that determines how far you go.
Okay, speaking about value, have you during the course of trying to, look for a job or be in leadership, be treated differently because you wear a niqab?
Okay, from my experience, where I currently work, I am the next in line to the overall boss where I work. And the other directors and head of departments comes after me by organogram and hierarchy of the organization.
So how do they take, and working with a niqab, a lot of people...
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
It's quite interesting because they see me as, I don't know how they perceive me, but they are always threatened, especially because they happen to be all men. I am the only female high-profile management staff in my organization, the only female, and I happen to be a niqabi. So it's quite challenging. They find it difficult to relate with me, to talk to me, to express themselves, because they felt, oh, she's a woman. And she's a woman. The way a man can feel when you say she's a woman, like an non-entity, like an ordinary person. But that is when your value comes in. When you are valued, they don't have a choice than to dance to your tunes. They don't have a choice than to go about whatever instruction you pass on to them.
Okay, so speaking about the feel threatened and all that, so what's been your most embarrassing moment or question about being a niqabi?
I guess there was a day we had a management meeting, and the PA to my boss, the overall boss, once said it to my chairman that I don't know. I don't know what Ajia thinks of me, because I don't see her. I don't even see her facial expression. I don't know when she's mad. I don't know when she's happy. I don't know when she's just not comfortable with whatever I do. That sounds interesting, right? And, the boss busted into laughter and was like, oh my God, why do you have to see her face? But she communicates. You can understand whatever it is she's saying. So, men have a natural way, not men only now. Even ladies, I had the same experience. Immediately I got in here, somebody wanted to do something for me and said, please, can you, just talk to me, maybe because I was dressed like this. You get? If it were to be that I am dressed like you are, I have my glam makeup on, the beautiful dress, the Swarovski stones, I will not be addressed in such a manner.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's nothing. It's just an analysis.
Away from Nikabi leadership and all that, you seem to be a very busy person. How do you find time to relax, maintain, your mental health and all that? What do you do?
There are too many issues in life to make you sad. And one thing that I realized has affected many women is their mental health. And when you talk about mental health, you go straight to talking about relationship. And when women allow relationship to get into them, that is when mental health is being affected. So for someone like me, I try to do what makes me happy, irrespective of whatever the challenge is. And now doing what makes you happy is another challenge, because you are not motivated to do what makes you happy when you are sad. So you just have to force yourself to ensure that you are happy and you give yourself peace. The world is not peaceful. You wake up to bad news every day, kidnapping, insecurity, banditry, and all this, horrible news, death of a loved one or of a loved celebrity, whichever one it is. So you just have to find a way to be peaceful with yourself. Do things that makes you happy often, and try to relate with people. And sometimes relating with people has caused some people a lot.
Yeah.
So they don't see it as an option.
You just talk about relating with people.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to our agenda, women. They have this, slogan, if I put it, women not supporting women.
Okay.
In your own view, what do you think women need to do to support each other? Just in 2 minutes.
Okay. What women are supposed to do to support each other is just to ensure that you look after your sister, not your biological sister now. Women seeing other women are supposed to see themselves as sisters. So when I talk about sister, I'm talking about other women in general. So, whatever it is that the woman is doing, so far it is not illegal. It is not, drug business. It is not prostitution and what have you. It's not robbery.
Against the laws
you
of
have
the country.
to support the person. So far it is genuine. If it is just, doing some sort of advertisement, even if it is moral support, no support is too small. If it is, oh, my sister, you're doing very well, all the best, more grace to your elbow, it's as, you can do at least that. Okay,
we'll be taking a break now. And when we come back, we'll be speaking more on the political side of Amina Al-Nikabi. Welcome back. We've been chatting with Dr. Amina Adebayo Shitu. Your CV is quite impressive, and having gone to various schools, what was your experience like in the U.S. as a Nikabi lady?
There's not so much about the experience. It was just as normal, It baffles me that in a nation like Nigeria, there are certain things we're not doing right. When we see women in niqab, we treat them like they are not part of the society, like they are not wanted, even in institutions in Nigeria. But overseas, it's not the case. They allow you dress. In fact, they give you maximum respect. They don't allow guys come close to you. Even when you are seated, they tell guys to excuse you wherever you are seated, unlike the way they are treated in Nigeria. So the experience is nice, it's good, it's smooth, and I achieved success.
Okay. Earlier, I talked about you being a politician. Many would ask, how far can a female niqabi politician go?
Yeah, it's a question often asked. Like I said earlier, it all depends on what value you have to offer. You know, it will get to a situation whereby your appearance would not matter when your value is indispensable, when your value is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
At first, there will be challenges, there will be setbacks, but in my own case, I have an innate confidence. I have an innate determination and sheer will to succeed at whatever I set to achieve. So it is the value, it is when you make a difference. It is when you are given tasks and you exceed expectations. So it's as simple as that.
That's nice. So how do you handle critics?
Well, you know, I am a critical person myself. I do a minimum of 2 weeks maximum to run a SWOT analysis on myself. So before you criticize me, I already know which area it is that I need to improve on. Because when I do this SWOT analysis on myself, I try to be truthful to myself. I am the only person that cannot deceive myself in my own world. People are allowed to deceive me, but I don't deceive myself in any way. I am always very critical with myself. So running SWOT analysis on myself helps me reduce critics, because it helps me see areas where I am supposed to work on myself. And before you come to me to tell me, you would have observed certain level of changes. However, every human is like a lantern. You can't see the bottom of yourself. And so when critics now come from outside, I try to see it as people calling my attention to certain things. So I listen to it, analyze it, and I look at it. Is it coming from envy? Is it coming from beef? Is this an honest criticism as to where I'm supposed to improve on? So I analyze it and make do with whatever it is I conclude upon. It's as simple as that.
Okay, that's fine. You can't help but notice that your fashion taste is top-notch. For a niqabi lady, where do you get this fashion sense from? Because, you know, there's that impression that for a niqabi lady, you should just be, you know, all covered and all that. You don't have anything about fashion, but your case is different. So tell us more about that.
I get compliments all the time for my dress sense. However, you know, I am just an individual that likes to stand out. In any and every way, I like to stand out. I like to be myself, and I don't like common things. Yeah, I don't like it when I use common things, when people know this is a way certain people does, and then I have to follow. No, I'm not that kind of person. My
you have
style,
your identity.
Yes, my style is inspired by my love for elegance and class. I like to portray class and elegance in my appearance.
That's nice.
That is the first impression I want to give to anyone about me.
Despite being a niqab.
Yes, yeah, I want you to see my niqab and still be thrilled and still be wowed and still be like, wow, you know. And unfortunately, I get a lot of criticisms from my dressing. You know, people say, oh, a niqabi is not supposed to, you know, be styled, you're not supposed to be attractive, you're not supposed to be outgoing and all these things. As far as I am concerned, I am an human being before a niqabi, and I am a Muslim before a niqabi, and I go by the tenets of Islam. If my dress do not contradict the laid down principles of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then I'm fine. I'm okay with it. I am not showcasing any part that is not supposed to be exposed. I am just being stylish and babyish.
Okay. Oh my God. One can't help but also notice that your love for heeled shoes is something out of this world. I can't count the number of heeled shoes I've seen you different. Why is it, you can't get, so no one can get you, you can't be caught outside wearing heeled shoes?
Yeah.
Is that part of your fashion
statement? It's part of my, yes, it is. And you would also notice that I am not too tall. And for that reason, I have to support my height, you know. That is one. And two, I do long dresses. Yeah. So for the elegance and the style to pop, I have to, you know, get a bit of height to showcase the real beauty of the dress that I have on. So the heel shoes, you know, is part of my way of being cheeky and elegant, you know.
Okay. What's your most cherished fashion piece?
My niqab.
Niqab. Yeah.
My niqab.
And you're always in black. Always in the color black.
Yeah, yeah.
Why, you know, people, you hardly find you in any other color. Yes, you may have a touch of little white and all that, but, you know.
I do all black. Always. All black.
Is
always.
that part of your fashion statement also? Or is something?
No, it's actually something I had to live with. And it's part of my life. You see, I believe that in every situation that we find ourselves as individuals, whether male or female, we should always learn to make the most of the situation. Like if you find yourself in any tough situation, decide how you are going to make that tough situation easy for yourself. Oh. So it was my husband that said it has to be black. And so when he said that, I was like, oh my God, black, why? I can't even do brown, not, you know, milk color, not navy blue or any other cool color. He said, no, it has to be black. And so I struggled with that for a little period. And then I decided, I said, okay, it's black here. All right, no problem. Then I have to make the most of the black. So I do
Which
black
you have.
always.
You've done that. You've done quite a good job. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm going to food. What's your favorite food? You know, niqabis do eat, so.
Yeah. Well, I am not the type that likes food, you know, so I don't have a favorite food.
You eat anything and
anything I desire to eat. It depends on my choice, yeah.
Okay, so coming back to the niqabi, what advice, now you're here, you have the opportunity to give this advice. What advice do you have for people who find it difficult to relate to a niqabi? Difficult in the sense that they already have a preconceived notion, okay? So what advice do you have for them to be able to interact easily with a niqabi?
My advice to them is that niqabis are not demons. They are not masquerades. They are human beings like any other person. And it's just a dressing, you know. It's a kind of dressing. And they should see people with niqab as people who have chosen to dress in that way and just relate with them like normal people. I will tell you, I was in the villa for the APC Women PCC inauguration a couple of weeks ago, and then I got to the entrance. There was a wrapper that was distributed for the event, and the wrapper was the gate pass. So I got there and I was told, I was not going to enter. Why? Because niqab is not allowed. I have to remove my niqab to access the event hall. And then I said, oh, then the event can stay while I take my leave. I had already turned back to go back to my car and leave the villa when one of the officers then called me back and said, ah, madam, so sorry about it. Please come. And he allowed me in. Otherwise, I wouldn't compromise my niqab for anything. The only time I removed my niqab was when I was undergoing a course at a particular university that already stated it, that they were not going to allow a niqab. And then I wanted to study that particular course in the university, and that was it.
Can you give a word of advice for those who may be wanting to be a niqabi like yourself, but, you know, are faced with one challenge or the other to start wearing the niqab? What advice do you have for them?
My advice will not be so much because, to be honest, it's not an easy thing. It is not easy at all. Now, if I have to give an advice, the practicability of my advice would depend on the kind of person that such individual is. So I will not give an advice. I would rather give some sort of admonishments. And the admonishment will be that if they want to do the niqab, it's fine, it's good, but they should ensure that they are well equipped with knowledge and skills, whether educational or vocational. They should ensure that they have something doing. As you're looking at me, I'm a jack of all trades. I do not do my job alone. I do a lot of businesses, and I relate with people as if I have no limitation. That is it.
Thank you very much for being on our show. We appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
She has a right to be who she is, as this is her identity. Listening to the voices of niqab-wearing women reveal that many assumptions made by dominant group about these women are simply inaccurate. They are not compelled to wear the face veils by anyone or anything other than their own conscience. They make deep religious commitment to wear the niqab despite the negative attention and hostility it brings to their lives. This is a quote from Pettis, 2013. Understanding the niqab from the perspective of the wearer and taking these views seriously could make the world a bit more peaceful. Until next week, when we bring you another interesting guest, I remain your host, Aminat Hassan. Stay safe and remain blessed.